What's up, guys? How you doing? This is Micah Dobbins, host of the Micah Dobbins Show, and right now we're gonna break into our news segment. So this was released on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a shout out. Taylor Croft was the author of this article, and basically it says the TikTok critic Keith Lee ranks Atlanta as the worst city on his 2023 food tour. All right, so we're going to talk about this a little bit, guys. It says Atlanta's food scene took another hit from TikTok food critic Keith Lee. In the year-end video posted to social media last week, Lee described the 8 cities he visited in 2023 on his food tour with his family, which led off with Atlanta as his least favorite. It said, "My biggest issue with Atlanta is it was hard to get food," Lee said on TikTok. On multiple stops on his visit to Atlanta in October, Lee criticized the customer service experience and the hurdles his family jumped through trying to order to-go meals. When we did eat, it was delicious, he added in his year-end ranking video. When the popular food critic visited Atlanta, Lee and his family visited at least 8 local places, ranging from mom and pop shops to more well-known restaurants, reviewing both the food and the service provided. His critique of the city's restaurants set off a bit of a social media sensation and came the same week as Atlanta celebrated its restaurant scene, receiving its first ever Michelin Guide star rating. So for those who don't know, that's really a big deal. You know, the Michelin Guide lifted Atlanta dining scenes. It's an international award that was given. It was a major step forward for our city and our dining scene. And, you know, we've only had 1 5-star restaurant, so it doesn't seem impressive to many, but that was a big deal that Atlanta just received that award in 2023, the same year that I guess, you know, Keith Lee didn't like the city. So I'm going to give you guys my ideas on this. I've spoke with various people from Atlanta. I currently reside in Atlanta, have been here since '92. Many of the people I've spoken with from various walks of life, just to get their opinions on the matter. I'm not going to disclose whom, but some high-profile individuals who work in the city's entertainment field and have addressed that they too saw an issue with the service here, that many seem to be complacent, not really wanting to work, or just nonchalant about who they're serving or how they're serving their meals. To those who were really bothered by it, like angry even, like they were saying dude got like death threats online, like don't come back to the A, shouted, we don't want you here type stuff. So I want to address these things. For those who know Atlanta, like I said, being here for so long, there are some staples in this city. You know, you had the Bankhead Seafood Market back in the day. It's supposed to be reopening now. You had Miss Ann's Snack Bar, you know, home of the Ghetto Burger, which I've taken family members and frequented many times. You had like Hodges, the old Hodges, where Mr. Hodges was living back in Decatur. You know, there's what's some other places? My mind is drawing a blank. I'm thinking of Bankhead to Cleveland Avenue, Walter's Soul Food. You got John's Fine Dining. You have, and I'm naming some soul food, some urban places, but there are other places Atlanta has to offer also. The Restaurant Beautiful, and many places that, in fact, one of my favorite places to eat wings one time in Atlanta, it's no longer open, was Time After Time. That used to be over there. If you go down Jonesboro Road, you know, from 285 Hooker Right, and now it's like car wash, a bunch of other things, some warehouses were built, but it used to be a wing spot there where you could actually get hot wings that would dry rub. So it was, you know, didn't have the wet wings, they were completely dry, like a powder, but it was very good. I mean, from ranch, everything, you know, that place no longer is open. I remember over there off of Bankhead, there used to be a wing spot down the street from the Advanced Auto Parts I used to work at, where they had these like Hawaiian wings that were like, that was just busting, you know, back then. This is 90s, of course. So a lot has changed in the city. I will say that. You have a lot of people here that weren't here before the Olympics that have now moved here, making it more of, you know, a metropolitan type of international, various places, people coming type city. With all that being said, there is no excuse for bad service. And I don't think the bad service is exclusive to just Atlanta Fine Dining. Since the pandemic, a lot of people have kind of become, you know, lethargic. Our priorities have changed in how we feel about various things. It's not what it used to be. The city has lost a lot of its southern hospitality and charm that it once had in the 90s because so many transplants have moved here, taken up root here, and don't understand the culture here. I saw a post recently on social media where somebody was upset, berating the city, saying that, you know, when I come to Atlanta, you know, I come to have a good time, but everybody there feel like they're a celebrity. You know, nobody wants to dance. Everybody got their little VIP section, like they're just kind of a different culture, and that's true. A lot of people here don't get caught up. There are some now, but a lot of them don't get caught up in the whole celebrity thing, because there's so many that went to high school, that live down the street, that you might run into at Lenox Mall, which you get shot at Lenox nowadays, but back then it was kind of high profile. You pretty much run it. I mean, I've run into from Dikembe Mutombo to, you know, Puffy to whoever you want at Lenox Mall, just walking around. So back in the 90s, of course. So Snoop, all of them out there. So it was the kind of city where a lot of people, you know, was really into macking, you know, the club life and all those things. They just weren't impressed. I'm sorry. You know, the pimp culture out here for a minute, the players' balls would be out here. They just wasn't really impressed with your status or who you were. It's like, yo, what up, bro? You know, I make money too. I get mine too. I drive my whip like you drive yours, you know. So it was that kind of a attitude. And maybe some of that leaked into the service industry. I don't know, because I rarely go out like that to some of these restaurants that you guys mentioned. I've never been to Old Lady Gang, so I don't know how the service is there. I went to high school with Candy from Tri-Cities. Shout out to Tri-Cities High. I've seen her on several occasions from Red Zone Studio, other things. Always been, you know, a down-to-earth, real person. Never called me my stage name. Always called me by my birth name, Micah. And I've never known her to, you know, have like a malice heart or try to be, you know, malicious in any way towards anybody. So I know that her restaurant was one of them that was named, as well as others. But I will say this, that, you know, I think that if you come to the city and you ask the locals, those who've been here for a while, some recommendations, you might find some good places where you can get a good meal and still good service. The jury's still out on this one. I'm gonna go check out some of these restaurants myself. I'll look over the list that he gave. I know he put us behind cities like New Orleans and New York and Chicago and everybody, but Atlanta has great food. And I'm sure there are places here you can find great service if you search. So go ahead and leave a comment if you're watching this on social media. Let me know what you think about the review, about what you think about the service here in Atlanta, what you think about the culture here in Atlanta. I want to hear from you. And if, you know, just drop a line, let me know what you think. And I may read off some comments at a later show and discuss some of these issues. And once I begin to bring people onto the platform via call-ins, I'll have you call in to give me your experience in the Atlanta food scene. But I want to cover the story about the food critic, Keith Lee, TikTok food critic, young brother, who's out here doing his thing, just trying to review food. I personally love to eat. It may not show my weight, but I definitely love to eat. And I like a good restaurant. I love to go to Louisiana to get gumbo when I have time to go out that way. I'm a big fan of Chicago, Portillo's, and many of the food places there. The pizza there is outstanding. I like deep dish, but I love New York pizza too. I can go up there, hit a slice up there that's really good and really good. Of course, in Atlanta, we got our places that I frequent. Philly cheesesteaks, I'm at Williams. If you go to Williams, you can get that Philly cheesesteak. I tried Big Dave's. I know a lot of y'all are big on that. Williams has been my spot in Stone Mountain for a minute now. I also rock with, you know, as far as like burgers, Miss Ann's Ghetto Burger was the best. I hate that it closed down. They couldn't keep that going, but that was hands down to me one of the best burgers in the A. When it comes to pizza, you know, I go from Fellini's to, you know, Mama Rosa's. I've been to the old Rockies, you know, the gentleman that committed suicide out there of Buckhead, that area Rockies, but I also frequented the Rockies down here in Jonesboro. But at any rate, yeah, there are various food places. I am a foodie myself. When it comes to, you know, African food, go to St. Louis. If you want some good Senegalese food, they got a great fish dish there that's crazy. If you love soul food, I could give you some recommendations. But again, drop your favorite place. Let me know where you like to eat in the A. What's a good food place? Or if you had a bad experience, let's talk about it. This is the Micah Dobbins Show. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Thanks, guys.